Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Montgomery, and for my position essay, my argument was that talk radio is still the most influential avenue by which people connect to mainstream culture. Now, personally, I'm not really in touch with pop culture in a large sense, so I'm a little bit familiar with talk radio. So I decided to go with this. Some of my supporting points was that talk radio has been an established form of communication for almost 100 years. Also, talk show hosts know how to connect with people and leave lasting impressions on their lives. Even if you not really in touch with talk radio, you've probably heard the phrase, "and now here's the rest of the story." Well, that was coined by a famous talk radio host by the name of Paul Harvey. So throughout the world, more people have access to radio than they do internet. In a lot of cases, you might would think that reading and literature would be the most influential, but in a lot of cases, the people are illiterate and they can't read that well. So the radio and talk radio is the most influential means by which they form their thoughts and their ideologies. Another way, in light of a popular emergence of communism, America broadcasted Western ideologies into Eastern Europe. And what a lot of people don't realize is that by doing this, they sparked the Cold War. So talk radio has the power to force or present your ideology upon a group of people. And that's exactly what America did in the early 1940s. So the rhetorical situation, the context of it, is a giant banner on the side of a radio broadcasting building, say that is positioned on a frontage road on Highway 35 North, in between San Antonio and Austin, or on a billboard that is next to the freeway in any major city in the US. And the audience is every person that is driving or that are in bumper to bumper traffic, that has a working radio in their car. And the purpose for that was to attract attention from everyone who sees the ad and provoke them to turn on their radio. So during my brainstorming process, a few ideas that I wrestled with, was to bring in documented facts, but because of the parameters of the essay, we couldn't do too much research. I had to discard that because that would have been a large amount of research, and that wasn't allowed for the essay. Also, another thing that I kind of wrestled back and forth with was whether or not to state boldly that talk radio is the most influential form of communication. Got to thinking about podcasts and thinking about vlogs and how influential they are. But when I really, really narrowed it down and got to thinking about it, is that podcasts and vlogs are still essentially talk radio. Yes, they're packaged differently, and yes, they flow through a different conduit, but all in all, they still have the same feeling and they still produce the same effect upon the audience. So I decided to stand behind my statement and just to go ahead and affirm my position that talk radio is the most influential form of communication. So some of my rhetorical devices and the reasoning behind them, the layout that I used with the golden microphone that's crowned, and the brief phrases that I have on either side of the image is just to let the image speak for itself, just like talk radio has done for all these generations. So the logic behind the sign being placed in a prominent area is that people will see and make them want to turn on the radio and listen. So the symbolism of the golden microphone, that is crowned is letting the audience know that talk radio is valuable and that it's something to be respected. Golden being valuable, and the crown representing something that is regal or royal, which automatically merits respect. The font that I chose was bold, to make the statement that it's confident in its established position. And the color that I used was red and gold, was just to show the power of talk radio and its influence all throughout the world. So thank you for your time. Have a blessed night.